Thank you.
Golf, if any of you.
Watch that door.
The enemy is still here.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to hold this.
Holy shit.
I can't sacrifice my life for you. Oh, no.
45 seconds.
Just stop there.
Hey guys, I'm Killjoy641 and we're going to be covering the assault role today. I will be going over key duties, loadouts, combat tips and tricks, and I will huge shout out to Reddit user Tyler4141 for a new segment in these videos called Combat Effectiveness. It talks about how effective the role is that is covered in the video and how well it does with other units in the game. Primary key duties as playing as the assault role for both factions is using your primary weapon and grenades. You're a highly mobile combatant, able to push enemies' positions and lay down some fire when needed. Assault players are known for their aggressive playstyle, but they also excel at defending. Your main duty is to be the tip of the spear when attacking or defending. And we're going to start with the loadouts, starting with the Americans. They have an M1A1 Thompson with 6 mags, 2 smoke grenades, 2 hand grenades, and 2 bandages. And the German assault loadout is a Gruer 43 with 10 mags. It's a semi-automatic rifle. 2 smoke grenades, 2 hand grenades, and 2 bandages. And I will cover more of their pros and cons and the combat tips and tricks because they're pretty good. I've enjoy the variation here. Combat effectiveness. So whether you are in an assault role to take an enemy position or just on guard duty, they work well with any other role in the unit. But you got to make sure to make most of an assault or defending a position by using your equipment and know the strengths for what faction you're playing at. As an example, in this clip I'm playing as the US assault role, and since the Thompson doesn't hit very far, but it excels at close quarter combat, I have play in the bunker on Scar for the CQB benefit and take down a lot of bad guys with it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to hold this.
I can't actually get anywhere to try and put nodes down in the north.
So combat tips and tricks, and these are going to be depending on what faction you play as. And first I'm going to cover the Americans. Clearing house, clearing enemy positions or defending urban objectives is where this role excels at for the Americans. When taking objectives or just getting a garrison down, your SMG will do wonders in close combat, especially with that high fire rate compared to the MP40. And also, for the Americans, you gotta fire from the hip if need be. You don't always have to fire from aiming down the sight, especially with the Thompson. At close range, the Thompson is a wonderful hip-fire weapon. If you encounter enemies in an uneven environment, or they even just caught off guard, don't be afraid to just shoot and pray. Better to aim down the sights and fire, but in a tough situation, it's okay to hip fire with this weapon. As long as it's in the general middle part of your screen, you're guaranteed almost a kill all the time. And some tips and tricks playing as the German assault role, you gotta use your range with that Gruer 43. Gruer 43 is just like the M1 Garand, it's semi-auto. The only big difference is that it has more shots than the M1 Garand. It has 10 compared to it as 8. It is very necessary when defending objectives, especially when covering a field that is all surrounded by these objectives. And it is very easy to fire down range and get a guaranteed kill instead of being as the Americans with your close quarter weapon. So tips and tricks for both factions for the assault role. You gotta lay down some fire with those weapons that you got. Thompson the Gruer can lay down suppressive fire with their higher fire rate and the bigger mag compared to most rifles in the game. It may be necessary to do so when pushing to another position, or it can hold down the enemies from flanking you. And I can't stress this enough because the reason why the developers have made the long times for spawning in so long, and trust me, I complain about it all the time, they want you to value you being alive on the field and holding these points, because if you go down, I mean, it could be maybe a minute and a half before you're up and back up to the position, depending on where your spawn points are at. And when you get fired upon, you know, your screen goes gray and your camera starts going up and down and left and right to signify you're being suppressed. And a lot of people hit the dirt. They don't want to, you know, die and have to sit there and wait for about a minute to be able to spawn back in or run back to the point, even just to die again. They want to be able to not lose those points and be able to hold those positions. So laying down fire with the Grua and the Thompson is not a bad idea when trying to assault positions, or even just holding an enemy till you get more reinforcements. But you got to be careful though, the Thompson does not have a lot of magazines. When I was covering the Scar in that bunker, I ran out of magazines very quickly for the Thompson, so just keep that in mind. And you got to use your smoke grenades for both of these factions. When trying to cross a road and that MG is opening up on you guys and you can't move, or you're trying to get a better flank on the enemy, you got to throw some smoke to get out of there. So other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you can give me some feedback, because like I said, I want to keep improving these videos. Next up, I think I'm going to be doing the automatic rifleman. They carry the bar and the STG-44, so that would be really cool. I've played those. I think this, besides having to play support or an officer, I say this is probably my favorite role to play as, just because you just decimate people. It's fun. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.